Well, happy Sunday morning, everyone. Welcome to the program, such as it is on a Sunday morning. Those of you first time joining us, Sunday is a little more informal. It's where you can all come in and make your comments, and you can talk about stuff, and we don't have a real pointed agenda. So welcome. We don't even have Raini this morning, as she has had a full week. She has had 5 scouting events during the week, and by events, it's everything from leaders meetings to den meetings to last night she did it all day. I just came out for the dinner and the program outside in the woods, a little bit of drizzle off and on, but the commencement ceremony, the crossover bridge thing where Rowan went up and she earned her Arrow of Life, and I've got pictures of that, and there'll be pictures of that on my Facebook. And so it was fun, but it was about a mile-long walk through the woods to get to the site. There are several campsites at this place along the St. Croix River at this bigger scouting campsite event place, and it's all in hundreds of acres of woods. And so it was, thank goodness it wasn't steep hills. So we had to walk in and cart all the gear in. Rainey did it on the way in, and she was helping cook and put things together and organize. She had a big wagon that she had to pull through the muddy lanes to get down to the campsite. And then I got to pull it out with everybody's backpacks on it. So we tried to hook it up like a harness to my backpack. I had a backpack which converts into a chair with little table wings on it. It's very cool. And so I fold that up and I can wear it like a backpack. And then we tried to hook it up to that, and it pulls at your shoulders while you're walking. Then Rainey walked half of the way bent over trying to push it from the back end. It wasn't a big task, but you know what? I'm not in shape. So for me doing that, it was a little more tasking. But Rainey's had it all week long doing stuff, and so she may or may not come in at some point in the morning. And I love how the light from the window, remember I'm in my basement, there's the basement window and the rafters above my head. I love how it makes my hair look really white. Maybe it's just illuminating what's really there or isn't there. So good morning to everybody. Matt Finn, you're the first name I'm seeing as I'm looking over in the chat room. Welcome, brother. Good to have you here. You and I, Matt, should talk about Master Finn, should talk about some of these archaeological finds. I looked at that video a while back that you sent me, but we were in the middle of all the move and all of that, so I haven't gotten back to you on it. But that video about the first mention of the name Yahweh in Israel that they found on that little folded piece of lead. It was like a curse, using Yahweh's name to curse the enemies of Yahweh. So it was very interesting stuff. Leslie Holker is here. Good morning, Leslie. She's just listening. That's fine, because there's not much to look at this morning. You can see my nappy face and my nappy basement walls. Uncle Dave and I are going to try to tackle doing some of these walls and the floor this next week so we can get our garage full of stuff moved down into the new studio, and into the master bedroom is going to be over there. I wish I could pick this thing up and show you everything. We'll do that as we go, because it's just kind of fun. Fun little progress story for those of you who are my friends and like to come in here, the intrep heads, and see what's going on. And that's it, Grumpy Stack, the ugly mug of Roberto Scotus. There it is. And there's Uncle Dave calling in. Let's bring him in. Dave, are you going to show your face today or just your logo? So there it is. And there's Uncle Dave calling in. Let's bring him in. Dave,
I'm not sure. Let me turn this up so I don't have ads. That's because I had my phone and my tablet going.
There you go. What is your face? Is your face not in? Are you not ready for your close-up, Mr.
I'm not ready for prime time yet. No.
It's no fun.
I slept in the chair last night.
A flashing logo. Kenny Lefebvre, thank you for being here. Good to see you, brother. Kenny Lefebvre, I like to call him, after Brett Favre. So the spelling and all that. Emerald Eagle, good to see you. Welcome. And Andrea Molnix, good to see you all the way from Montana. Let's see, we have a foundation here that takes people out to dig for dinosaur bones. They're all over the
cool.
country. I've seen a couple of shows, those documentary reality type shows that have these guys who own land out there, and they are looking for dinosaur bones on their own land. They rent out land, but that's some of the stuff that keeps their ranch going in tough times. Is they dig up dinosaur bones? They can get $50,000 for.
Do they actually find dinosaurs, or do they find these like fossilized guppies?
No, they're finding there's a big swath of dinosaur remains throughout that whole region, and so they're finding like T-Rexes. I think one of the most complete T-Rexes was found in one of these places in Montana, and they're finding all kinds of different dinosaurs out there, which is pretty cool. Which means a lot of them died at the same time because they're all in this. And if you go down to Texas, you just go down south of Montana and get into Texas, there's that red swath, they call it. I don't know exactly what it's called. You look at it on Google Earth in the north of Texas, that's that red wash through the whole region that is Pleistocene or something like that. I can't remember how to pronounce it. But back before the Jurassic. And you see a lot of stuff down there.
Well, isn't that where Randall Carlson thinks the meteor hit the
somewhere in there,
the Gulf there?
Probably
the reason it's shaped like that is because the meteor struck there.
That's why the Gulf of Mexico is the shape it is.
Yeah,
big meteor. Yeah. Yep. And didn't that leave the Earth in they estimate about 200 years of nuclear winter? And now they're doing the tests out there. They're launching rockets. I don't know if they have warheads on them. Launching rockets at there's one that they're launching. I can't remember the name of the mission. I just read about it. It's 5 million miles from Earth, which is a close call, they call it. And they're launching out there to see if they can explode this rocket into the side of an asteroid and move it. And see if they can alter the path. And I think they chose that one because it's close, not because it's headed toward us, but they're saying some of these asteroids that you see and these comets that if they veer just a slight degree off course for any reason, they could impact the Earth. And there's
an app. There's an app that I have on my phone that tracks asteroids and near misses and things like that, and it's amazing. Sometimes those things, there's been a couple that crossed our orbital path, but came just behind us, or crossed ahead of us by a day or so.
Yes,
those are kind of scary.
It's like yesterday. If we'd have been there yesterday in our orbit, we'd have been impacted.
Yeah.
So and you wonder. In even biblical end times prophecy, where it talks about 1/3 of the earth, the population being decimated, and fires from the heavens and things like that, paraphrasing it, you wonder if that's something that's like that. Emerald Eagle here said tiny people have been found all under 2 feet tall in Sardinia.
Yeah, I was looking at that stuff too.
That's pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 sapien lines that are divergent. There's the extremely large, the giant size, the those of us in our range, and then there are these tiny, beings, and for lack of a better word, they refer to them as hobbits, but
yes, I've heard that Hobbit race discovered.
Yeah, so. but basically they're tiny little human beings, and it's crazy.
And it's why did they pass out of existence? You wonder why don't we see that anymore? Was it
or are they there and we just don't see them? Or
and it's possible. Were they humans? Are those remains of? And I'm going out there on a limb just for the conversation on this, is that the remains of like elementals and things like, but elementals are supposed to be spirit beings, but like Bigfoots, do they have remains?
Yeah.
Or they're not just spirit because they're solid, they're corporeal. So, Land of the Giants, says Rudy Kessler. I remember that show. I watched that 70s show where they're in a spaceship, they get thrown off course or something, and they end up on Earth, but it's Earth where they're tiny. They're about this big. So, yeah, that was a cool show. And, but yeah, I wonder about that. Elementals, I know they're a different kind of a being. They're a spirit being. And so you wonder if those are some of the things you run into with elementals. They don't have to be tiny, but the stories I've heard, many of you know John Zaffis, Ziggity Zaffis, as Brian Cano calls him, Ziggity. But John Zaffis, he was the nephew to Ed and Lorraine Warren, and got started in the whole paranormal field in the early 1970s. Just during or after the whole Amityville, the original Amityville stuff that the Warrens were doing. And he's considered now to be the godfather of the paranormal and out there within the paranormal community. And he told a story once of he and there was somebody else, a woman I know, Stacy Jones was her name. And they told me a story of elementals they saw. They were at a haunted place, and the woods were full of elementals, and they could see them, and they physically manifested. And he said it was something not to be messed with, is what John said. So,
look at Big Island that one year with Rob and you and I, and or there's lots of video footage out there of very small beings.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great one of a little guy hobbling down a road. I saw that. That's been around for years.
I think you showed that to me, and Sarah Soderlund showed that one to me as well.
There's also those where, people are doing stuff in the foreground, and then something runs across the background, or even sometimes just wanders across the background. They weren't shooting it. They weren't looking for it. It just happened to walk through their camera view.
And sometimes
they don't notice it at the time. They notice it afterwards.
They see it when they're watching the video later. Exactly.
And those are the videos you don't get a clear picture, but I like those videos the best because they were shooting a kid's birthday party or whatever. Yep. They weren't paying attention to what was happening in the background, and they catch something that's, I don't even want to call it paranormal, but something that's out of the normal.
Right.
And there's a great Bigfoot video like that as well. They're at a campground someplace up in the mountains, and they are shooting what's happening in the foreground, and in the background in the trees you can see what appear to be juvenile Bigfoot leaping from tree to tree and playing,
and not built, not configured, even though it's mostly in silhouette. It's not configured like a chimpanzee that got away from somebody's exotic zoo or something. It's configured very differently.
You've seen it as well, and I love that because they aren't even talking about it in the video. They're not saying, "Hey, what's that?" It's something that's happening, and it's something they find afterwards.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't the subject of the video. It's just something that happened in the video. And those are great.
Andrea asked, "Do you think elementals would have been the foundation for some of the fairy myths or little people?" Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes. I think that every myth and fairy tale has a root of reality in it, and if you look back, you can find those.
I had my old seminary professor who was the first to tell me this. I was probably 20 years old, 22. I was in seminary, and we were talking about mythology, standing around the front desk in the office drinking coffee, and in between classes, and we asked him about that, and he said, he says, at the way he put it to me, he said, at the headwaters of every great myth is a kernel of truth. And he's right about that. And I think this is where you get, of course, and I've mentioned this many times on the show in different contexts, but according to Roman Catholic theology, the elementals, the spirit beings, the Shi, the Banshee, the fae, the fairy folk, all of these elementals, these different ones that you can name, were all the spirits in the beings in created beings in the wars in heaven in eternity past that were they kind of remain neutral. They were too good for hell, too bad for heaven, because they remain neutral. And so, according to Roman Catholic theology, this is who God cast down to the earth. He threw them to the earth and said, this will be your domain. And so there's a belief that all these kinds of elemental beings exist. Fairies exist. It gets watered down by Tinkerbell over since the Victorian age. And people think, oh, fairies, yeah, right. Little winged beings. It doesn't necessarily have to be little winged beings. The Fae, they were the ones that would still in Ireland today. You go there, and the Irish people that live out in the country, in the back country, they'll say, don't go up to the castle ruins on certain nights, because that's where the Fae will dance their fairy dances, and the fairy lights will come from. I get chills going up the back of my spine talking about that. That's weird.
Have you seen the footage? There's a father and his two kids. They're out by in an orchard, and they stop and they see something up in the tree, and you pan up, and this thing launches out from the tree, and
I just saw that yesterday.
It's clearly got arms and legs and wings.
Clearly. And they go running, and the dad's like, what is that? And the kids scream, and they all go running down the path. And so they were looking at apples. They were all picking apples. And that's why he was filming. And so, yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff. So I think in our culture, especially in the West, we've kind of pushed all that spiritual notion aside. Excuse me, with the death of or the death knells of our being a spiritual nation, a nation that's focused on spirituality or religion of any certain kind, we become just the opposite. We're a secular society. And that secular society has ended up pushing all notion of this stuff out. And if you ever have an encounter, what's the first thing your brain does? It tries to explain it away. Oh, well, that must have been a trick of light or something. But then deep inside, if you're tuned into it, you go, I know that was not just a trick of light. And and there's a lot of us that say, boy, I would love to just see that one time. But you know what? If you saw that one time, you'd probably pee your trousers. It would scare you. You know, be careful what you wish for. And I still want to I want to take Sam out. I want to take Rowan out. Maybe Ellery. She might be a little too young. But I want to, not Sam. I'm sorry, Flynn. I saw a lot of Sam yesterday. So I want to take him out and say, let's go sit in the woods. Remember when I talked on the show about the Fae and the fairy folk and how you can attract them? There are those who believe you can attract them and not attract them to mess with you, just to notice them. If they say you go, one of the first prerequisites for that was you go for a walk in a nearby wood, you know, and they withdraw more from urban centers, but there are still places you can go walk through the woods, and you find a place that appeals to you, and you sit there just in the quiet. You just sit in the quiet for however long a period of time you're going to sit there. And eventually, it doesn't always happen the first time, but you keep going back to that place and you sit. Sometimes you sit and you sing. Sit and play an instrument if you have it. Sit and talk to the woods. Recite poetry, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And eventually, those in the know say that you will attract them because they will find that you are somebody safe for them to let you notice them. And you can notice them. You can say, I tell you right now, I'm getting chills going all down the backs of my arms. That's really weird. So, and I've told the story before when we were out, and Andrea, if you're still out there listening, Andrea, she and her husband, Mac, the old cowboy, they owned the ranch, and we were cutting a deal with the old rancher to buy the place on a contract for deed, and we lived out there. And there was a time where we went to and Andrea, I don't know if you know this, maybe you'll go, oh my God, you did that on the ranch? But we went to all four corners of the 40-acre ranch. And now the ranch was there was, Dave's been out there many times. One side you could see, it used to be tilled fields, but it's all grown over. That became pasture land, but it had some hilly spots. And then it would go off into that one corner, Dave, that was opposite kitty corner, the corner where the house stood, way on the other far end. And all the woods were growing out from the woods back there. And it kept encroaching. Every year it was further and further out. You had little saplings all the way to big trees. And we'd go walking through there, and that was a wonderful place to sit. It was Rob, who was out there many years ago, who said, this is a fairy ring that's growing right here. And he firmly believed that it was there. Hey, Andrea. So what Rainey and I did one time is we went and we left offerings for the Fae. And we took a little plate with cheese and cut cheese and an Oreo cookie and a little cup of milk or something. We put it, each one on a little.
The Fae love Oreos.
They do. Dipped in Guinness, I hear. But we'd put one and a little coin, like a dime or a quarter or a nickel, and we'd set it at the four corners of the ranch. And that was supposed to invoke blessing from the elementals, not just praying for blessing from God on your property, but blessing from those who live there in spirit. And so we did that at one time, and thought we'd give that a try. Weren't sure, you felt a little silly on one part and very vindicated on the other part, that you were trying to do something there. So we left that offering out there, and I don't recall that it did any good for us. But who knows what was there, what was prevented, what was made to happen. So it was very interesting. Hi. Beer. What are you saying beer about?
Beer.
Are you upstairs drinking beer for breakfast?
Beer.
Hey, Ellery.
There's
Beer.
Uncle Dave.
How are you,
Tell by
sweetheart?
his beard.
Beer.
You can't have any.
Can't
What
have
are you
none.
doing to these kids growing them up
Where'd
in
you get that
Wisconsin
word?
like that?
I was watching a TV show upstairs. Guess the drink by an emoji, and it had a bee and an ear. And
A
it was
bee and an
beer.
ear. A bee and an ear makes beer.
And I guess beer.
Okay. You
Beer.
can't have none.
Beer.
I'll give you a taste someday and you'll see why.
Beer.
Beer? Where? Says Field Guy.
Beer.
Hey, good morning, Steph Cuervo Queen. Steph. I wish I could do Antonio Banderas.
That's
Steph
drinking beer. It's not
Cuervo
coffee.
Queen.
That's beer, not coffee.
Scotch, maybe. You'll never know, will you?
That's beer, not coffee.
Mm.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with a Guinness for breakfast.
Nothing wrong with it. It's got all the food groups are represented.
Just drinking me oatmeal.
For breakfast.
That's right. Yeah, put it on your oatmeal.
She says to me at dinner the other night, she's still standing there.
No, she went upstairs.
She says to me, "What's a whore?"
A whore?
Yeah.
Ellery asked you that?
Yeah.
Nice. Dave came over the other night, brought swords for Flynn and for the festival, and he took Rowan and Ellery out for Chinese, their favorite. When are you taking us to Chinese, Uncle Dave? Well, right now, he said. So she asked you what a whore was.
Yeah.
Or like we like to pronounce it, a hoor.
Whore.
So what did you tell her?
I said, well, why are you asking? Because I have learned
Yes.
when kids ask these questions, sometimes they're just pronouncing something else. It's like, just ask them directly. Why are you asking this question?
Because
sometimes
I do that all the time.
Because they don't necessarily need the definition of what they're asking about.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
asking
it's like
about
right
something
now.
else.
Well, where did you hear stuff about beer? Why are you quoting beer?
Yeah.
So, and we
And,
don't drink a lot of beer around
She
here.
says, well, Rowan called so-and-so a whore. And I said, Rowan, who did you call? And she goes, oh, this guy, he said something to me. I called him a whore and told him to leave or something, blah, blah, blah. And I said,
Nice.
first of all, you have the gender wrong.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, men can be whores.
they can be gigolos, but they're not really
Gigolos. There you go.
whores. back in the day, words meant something.
Yes, they did.
And they have a defined definition. And there is a definition for everybody or everything, but it wasn't such a fluid language back in the day.
I'll tell you, my own sweet twin daughters, who are now 30, they have referred to me as a man whore. And so did Rainey when she first started dating me. You're just a man whore. And they would laugh and stuff, but I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not a man whore. So
no, totally not.
Men can't be whores. Maybe sluts, but not whores, says Field Guy. Andrea says, yes, kids mispronounce a lot of things. So Leslie says, when my grandchildren ask me questions like that, I say, you'll have to ask your mom.
So I deflected the question, and
Yes,
then
probably a good thing.
And then, said that they'd have to ask Captain Morgan sometime because he's quite familiar with horse.
Yes, Captain Morgan is familiar with horse. Yes.
When it was a festival Friday, and Morgan and Sandy and Spew.
Yes,
I think
there it is, Steph. There it is. I weren't a man whore. I were just spreading cheer.
That's true.
Well, I would get cheered a lot. Maybe.
So we were all up on the second floor of Bad Manor, standing on that little balcony, over by the Feastmaster's room, and standing out there. It's Festival Friday. All the school kids are out, and this group of, I think they were early junior high kids, come by and they see us up there and they say, "Hey, what are you doing up there?" And Morgan says, "Well, we're up visiting the brothel." And what's a brothel? You have to ask your teacher that one.
Ask your teacher.
And so we had a whole conversation with like several things they didn't understand that they had to go ask their teacher about. So
what age group was this? You were talking?
I would say 12 to 13, somewhere in there, 7th graders maybe.
Go ask your dad.
Off they ran to talk to their teacher. A few minutes later, they came running back. "You guys are mean people." "What do you mean we're mean people? We're very nice people." We went and asked our teacher the meaning of those words.
And the teacher said, "They're mean people. Don't talk to
them." And so then they had a whole bunch more questions.
That's where you just look at them, you go, "Pirate."
Pirate. Yeah. So we had an ongoing conversation over the course of an hour where they would, at the end of each little break in conversation, have to run off to their teacher and get the meaning of more words.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Did that happen to be, remember the other night we also had Wayne Grimmer on? Was he up there with you?
Yeah, Sandy. Yeah. Sandy Bottoms.
Wayne
the
Grimmer.
Only one of the crew who's not named after a bodily function.
Field Guy asked, so when Lieutenant Uhura had a house, would you call that an Uhura house? Very nice. Ching.
Boom, boom.
No, in the 23rd century, we've outgrown the need for Uhuras.
So Morgan's crew were all named after bodily. We had Spit and Spew and our cabin boy Squirt and just Belch and they're all bodily functions. And I remember the day that the first day of festival and Squirt had grown up over the summer. He was
I remember that year.
A young 16-year-old, and we said it's just not appropriate for you to be the cabin boy anymore. We're going to make you an able-bodied seaman, and we'll deal with your name as we go along. Anyways, we were there with the court and a bunch of people. There was an audience, and I can't remember if it was the king or somebody.
I don't drink that stuff, Field Guy, by the way.
Asked me to introduce the crew, and I said, well, he's Sandy Bottoms. He's our first mate. And this is Spit. He's my bosun. And this is Spew. He's I can't remember what Spew was. He had a position, and I said, and this is Squirt the seaman.
Squirt the seaman.
As I grabbed my chest laughing. Oh, still having rib problems. And so I'm like, oh, we're gonna have to change his name right away.
Right quick.
And everybody's laughing, and it didn't dawn on me until I said it. But Squirt the Seaman is not gonna last long.
Not going to last. Not a good name. My friend, Sarah Lejeune Schmidt. Oh, now I've given her full name on Sarah. She's a looks an awful lot like Raini when you think about it. And just before Raini and I, a year or so before Raini and I started dating, we were involved a little bit, and she was a patron out at the festival. And
okay.
Yeah,
I think I know what you're talking about.
And I remember seeing her. She was with all the royal seamen out there. I think that's what they call themselves. They walk around in a boat, a big white dinghy that they've taken the bottom out of, and they put straps over it, and they'd walk around in costume with that boat as part of their act. And she got in the boat with them, and she looked at me, and I have it on camera somewhere. I just ran across it. It's an old video from like a 2-megapixel camera phone I had back in 2004 probably. And she looks at me on the camera, and I said, "What on earth are you doing, woman?" And she said, "I'm standing in a boat full of seamen." I said, "What?" She said, "Seamen." So there you go. Play on words, but yes. Spit the Seaman. Yeah.
Squirt.
Did you ever rename him?
No, we just dropped the title. He'd been Squirt forever. It was really hard to not call him Squirt.
Daniel Onder said, my uncle had a guy come into his mechanic shop, and his name was John Gay Dick. Gay Dick. That's a tough name. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Rudy Kessler says, Dan from the 42nd does that. Yes, he does. And Joel Allard, I think, and a couple of other guys who used to.
Wayne was when Wayne left the Privateers, but we kind of split up.
Oh, he was one of them?
For a while, yeah. First or second season of them. And
oh, that's kind of cool. And,
yeah, the boat idea was an old privateer thing that I wanted to do, and we never got around to it.
So they got it.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. We were going to take a wooden fishing boat and get the guts from a golf cart.
5 million miles from Earth, which is a close. Hey, Ruben. From what I'm hearing, we're getting feedback from the show. This rocket. You're picking up the show from about 20 minutes ago, I think. Move it.
Scan forward. Grab your little red line at the bottom.
Refresh that feed. There's Ruben Fast Horse. He hasn't done his face this morning yet, so but he's joining us. There you go. Is that does that come off?
It unzips.
Oh, it zips. It's like a gimp suit. Not that we know what that is.
Chair. Happy sewing to everybody.
Good to see you. Happy
Halloween.
It's coming. It's coming.
It is coming.
This is my Christmas. Hey,
Potter. There it is. Well, Lakota Santa, here's what I want for my Samhain present. Do the Lakota have an equivalent for a Santa Claus?
In
any kind of mythology.
Looking at mythos, every day is Halloween, every day is Thanksgiving, every day is Christmas, because we paint ourselves, and I got orange on my toes as well for the season.
Oh,
but
very nice.
It's recognizing the winter solstice, which is our new year, and the spring solstice. So we had 13 we have 12 modernly, we have 12 according to America, 12 months, but we had 13 according to the moon. And because we are a matrilineal, matriarchal society, as you well know, both of you, very pagan, paganistic, which is a Roman word, paganistic. Pagan is paganistic for country dweller, just
Right.
like the Scots had heathen of the heath. So yeah, it's back to that. And so Halloween is only because, and Christmas is only because of such a strong pagan way that the people lived, that the Christianity had to adapt to our way of life, and so they started to change their philosophy, their ideology, their everything to accommodate them. So to lure in the paganistic culture in that way. And you know that Christ was not born on December 25th.
Right.
What?
Right. Yeah, what? That's like saying, I said to Dave once, I said, I don't know how to break to my kids when they were little. I don't know how to break to them that there's no Santa Claus, that he's just a kid. And Dave, and I said, when I learned when I was a kid, I cried for a week.
What are people doing?
And Dave's response, and I said, Dave, what do you think about that? And he was over there sniffling. What? He said.
But it's like Sasquatch in the sense that we teach our children that it's a spirit. It's a spirit. A spirit that you cannot, you 2 fingers next to the temple, it means holy wakan spirit. Sacred.
Holy waka.
Yep. And you cannot explain that. Can you capture Sasquatch in a photo? Maybe, but you really, in reality,
But you might be crazy.
Yeah.
And I like the white man's
think
term,
that's what that meant.
crazy. Yeah. Close too. But there's a borderline. There's a fine line between madness and holiness. And you're right, Dave, when you say like that. And then this.
You guys talk for a minute. I'm going to go refresh my coffee.
Okay. Bring me back a hot one too. Mine's getting cold.
Yeah, I'd like a nice coffee. Thanks. And a hot dog. But no, Dave, you're right. I love your madness. And I love playing Harry Potter's teacher, Alan Rickman, who's gone now. God bless his soul. What was it? Snape. I'm your Snape, and you're my Potter.
I
Hello,
can be
Potter.
Dumbledore.
Now you can bounce that. You can bounce that shit. That's good. But yeah, it just, thinking about all the Hallows Eve was what I was trying to get at. Say that to say this, that Hallows Eve was a Catholic. And I grew up Catholic. I was going to be a priest. We're talking about, hey, lady.
Good morning, Rowan.
Hi, lady. I'm your uncle, Lekshi Rubin. And so to say this, Hallows Eve was the veil between the natural and the supernatural.
Yeah.
And that was the point where you would see spirits, which are also called demons. Demon is a Greek word for spirit. It's not, it doesn't mean evil, because in Lakota
I agree. I don't think of them as evil. I think of them as dimensional beings.
Indeed. We're talking about Hallows Eve and Halloween, Chia. And I was just saying to Potter that
Potter?
Santa Claus,
David
that
Potter?
Dumbledore. I was talking to Dumbledore here. That he's my Dumbledore, and I'm his Snape, Professor
There you go.
Snape. There you go.
And
so,
I'm not Professor McGonagall.
No.
I know that for a fact.
But
I'll be the Richard Harris Dumbledore, and Dave can be the Michael Gambledon.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
You're the wolf. You're the wolf.
I haven't grown my beard
I forget
yet.
Professor Wolf, the one that turned
Lupin.
Lupin. Yeah, you're
Lupin,
Professor
yeah.
Lupin. I
Hey,
see.
I was thinking the one that turned into the chair.
Who turned
Oh,
into the chair?
low blow, low blow.
Who turned into the chair?
He's the guy that in fourth film they Dumbledore wants him to come and be the dark arts teacher. So
Oh,
that he
yeah,
can
yeah, yeah,
he
yeah,
can
yeah,
get him to share that memory of he who shall
That's
not be
Lupin.
named with the.
Yeah, he'd bring their fears to light, and they would have to face it.
Wait, I could be the Oldman
You-
character.
You can't
Sirius
cannot
Black.
you cannot self-proclaim yourself. I've already named Dave, and
Okay.
Dave's named me. So
That's true.
anyway.
That's like when Rocky Stucci was giving me Italian nicknames. I said, I got one. He goes, you can't name yourself with your own Italian nickname.
That's right.
I gotta
That's
name
right.
it. So,
Well, I was going to say, with Hallows Eve upon us, that's why I wore the mask. I love
Right.
my sweater.
I figured that had something to do with that.
Yeah, it's the whole Samhain thing. So Hallows Eve is the thinnest veil between the natural and supernatural time, so to speak, according to Wiccan philosophy and ideology. And the reason why I follow Wiccanism, witchcraft, and get this, witchcraft in America is the strongest place is St. Paul. St. Paul.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's very, very strong, and I loved Minnesota for that. But it's not just that. What I'm talking about, Hallows Eve, is the thinnest veil between the natural and supernatural world at that time, and they call it the witching hour. Midnight is always every day the witching hour where you can communicate. And my best dreams from my parents, from family and ancestors are at midnight. If I can remember them all the time, but I dream them. But they never talk to me. I see them and I'm with them, but I never talk to them. That's crazy. The crazy part. So what I'm saying is that to say this, that Christianity capitalized on the paganistic rule in that way simply because they couldn't defeat it. And so they called it Thanksgiving. They call it Halloween,
Christmas, Easter.
Hallows Eve. Hallows Eve
Hallows
is that
Eve, yeah.
pinpoint in our calendar. And it's not even our calendar. It was a Gregorian calendar. But now it's changing to a new calendar. So, when a calendar dies, you got to pick up and create a new one. And I say that to say this, that Black Elk, our holy man, the last holy man in the 1930s, said, we, as Lakota Sioux Indians, Dakota, Nakota people, we ran on a buffalo cycle where every leg was an age. And he said, all the hairs on the buffalo are a year. And in 1930, when he spoke in his interview, he said the buffalo is on his last leg and it's nearly bald. And then the millennium came. And so we have to adapt as well. And as Sioux people, we are masters of adaptation. And so here we go. And so are you. It's not just the Sioux, it's you. So,
ooh, that's a slogan if I ever heard one.
My girlfriend's a Jewish. So I say,
that goes right in there.
I know. And so I say, I'm the Sioux, she's a Jew.
Nice.
She's had the Holocaust. I got the Holocaust, and our Holocaust was worse than the Jewish Holocaust, unfortunately. I'm not going to go into that, but
You're not comparing. I get what you mean.
no, I know. And nobody should. Nobody should say, oh, we had it worse. Oh, I had it worse than you did. And blah, 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 whatever. But I love talking about this because it is a season of change and sowing. It's spelled Samhain. Looks like Sam
I used to
Hain.
wonder when I first saw that. What the hell is Sam Hain?
And Mabon, Mabon, Mabon was just before that. It's a season of change. And so we're slowly adapting. And this is the pagan rule, the witchcraft, plain and simple. The Wiccan rule is it changes. You change, as we all do. I feel it in my bones. Dave, you must know. You caught me on this because the barometric pressure changes. It's no longer hot, but it's cool. And my bones ache. My joints ache. My toes. Man. Oh, God. I wake up to cramps. My middle toes will wake me up.
Try taking a dive down some steps like Dave did. Then
I missed the steps. I just went right off the loading dock. Yeah. So
it's just that thing, we're Scotty, Chia, you were talking about getting older and your children, and
sure,
the mind is 18. My mind is 18, but the body is 51. And
yes,
for all the work I did, dancing I did, it tells me when the barometric pressure fluctuates, I know it.
Yeah.
And I understand now what the old people would say is like, they would say, oh, it's going to rain.
I feel it in me bones.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So there we are. Here we are, three old men talking about aches and pains.
That reminds me of a little
wise elders.
A little impromptu song that John Ward made up. John Ward, Rocky Stucci, and I, we were headed to a site down in Faribault, and I had the camera. I said, let's talk about, he says, I've got a little song for us. He goes, three men naked, three men went to the pub all naked, and he just kept going on, and we're like, that'll do, John. That'll do,
John.
So we're three old men. Yeah. We're not three elderly men. We're three old men.
Three elders. There's a difference between elderly and elders.
That's very true.
I contest that, Dave, because in my Native American culture, there's a lot of plastic shamans that want donations and money just to their services. So I contest them, debate them and saying, okay, I'm not going to call you an elder until I know you, and then you prove yourself. Just because you're old, I don't have to call you an elder. You're just an old guy, or you're an old woman. But if you want to debate, claim yourself to be, I'm an elder. Bullshit. It's you have to get that and earn that from the people. The people will call you, Dave, an elder by your actions and what you do. Because any politician, I'm not going into politics, but anybody who is a politician should be elected or judged and raised by the people.
The people, yeah.
Go.
There it is. Go.
Yes.
I was going to say something on that, and so I started talking. I don't remember what I was going to say.
You're old.
I must be an elder.
You're old.
Feeble is the word.
Feeble in mind. I can't remember what I was going to say, sincerely, but it'll come to me.
Train of thought. Choo choo.
Yeah, I'll wake up at 2:00 in the morning and I'll go, oh, now I remember.
Yeah, that's it.
So,
Me too. Me too. God honest.
Rudy Kessler says, I don't wake up with aches. If I didn't wake up with aches, I wouldn't know I was alive. That's almost it. You know, it doesn't matter anymore. I can sit and watch TV for an hour and I stand up and I'm like, oh my God.
Oh,
And I got to stretch, you gotta the whole body. Put me on the rack, please.
I
I
would
get-
love
I
a
get-
turn on the rack.
I
Yeah.
get out of the car, and my wife too, Susie, and we're like both moaning and groaning, just like, oh,
Yeah.
it's a nice Honda Civic, but it's so low bucket seats.
This is why I like big vehicles. The older I get, it's not because I have a size problem and I'm trying to not accommodate, to compensate. I like big vehicles because I like stepping up into a vehicle. I don't like having to crouch down and get down and then getting out. You're like, oh my God, I'm almost on the floor.
Suction cup. It's like a suction cup.
It is. Hey, Mark Eddie, good to see you, brother. Andrea Mulnick says, reminds me of Uncle Brownie and Wes Studi's characters on Reservation Dogs fighting over who was the better elder medicine man. Did you ever see that? What a great show that is.
I will say this, is that I think I told you before, Chia, Scotty, Chia, Dave, older brothers. Chia means older brother in my language. And so
It'll always be Misu.
I'm
Younger
Misu.
brother.
I'm little brother. I'm just little brother. But so, I find myself getting older. I'm 51, but mine is 18, as I said. And so when I sit down, I find myself sounding like my father. My father would sit down.
She's going back up. She forgot something.
Dave knows, and I would sit down and I would go.
Move the cat.
I would go. Ugh.
She just started.
Yeah.
She just
It was a
started.
relief for some
Yeah.
damn thing. It was just
Groaning
crazy.
for no reason. Groaning for no reason. Yeah.
Groaning for no reason, but it felt so good just to.
Adjust
And
your-
I caught myself in saying that. I was like, "Holy shit!" I'm sorry. Holy shit! I'm my dad now. God bless his soul.
Yeah, I remember. So I sitting in a room with my dad and my grandfather before this is I was pretty young, but well, I guess I was probably in high school. But my grandfather sitting in the chair, his ankles crossed, his hands in front of him folded. He started like twiddling his thumbs. I looked over, my dad was in the same pose, and I looked down, and I was in the same pose. I'm like, okay, this is gotta change.
Reality hits. Hey, Rainy.
Yeah.
Hey.
Eating a cheese stick.
Yep.
Mhm.
Cheese
Of course,
stick
she's
Rainy.
She's in Wisconsin. That's how you
That's
got
right.
to do it.
Gotta
Those
eat
tiny
cheese.
girls,
Gotta
they're
eat my
all a little
cheese here.
cheesy.
That's right.
Yeah, they're all
Well,
cheesy.
the dog is here now too because she has food.
Dog likes cheese sticks too.
We keep finding the cheese sticks because the kids will leave them out, but they're still not opened up. They're in individual wrappers, and the dog sits and just gnaws and gnaws and gnaws on the thing, but can't get the wrapper open.
She barks at it. She'll be like,
'Cause she
Hey,
can't open it up.
Rainy. I'm going to ask Rainy. Can I ask Rainy a question?
yeah.
Sure.
The Renaissance Fair here in Tuxedo, New York is as equal, if not bigger, than the Ren Fair in Shakopee.
Yeah.
And Scotty and I have a jointed friend, and Dave have a friend called Arsene Dupont, who's a great
Mhm.
Mime.
magician. Mime, yes. Thank you. Do you miss? The question is, do you? Do you,
Anyway.
Rainy? Do you miss the Ren Fair?
A little bit.
I do.
Little bits and pieces.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's getting dressed up. I can do it for one day, but
Yeah.
I don't want to do it all weekend.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say if
Hey,
the
Beth
people
Kirkham.
out there weren't the same people out there, or the ones who have all been so weird over the last years, I think I would miss it. But everybody's gotten so political out there. So when someone says, "Do you
Get
miss
out."
Beth?" I think about the people who have deleted us because we're not in the same political path as they are, and just how kind of crappy human beings can be,
Audrey!
that it's not. I don't know. It's not the same. It's not the same. But if I could go back to the beginning days when I started,
Yeah.
then I would probably miss it a lot. But
Okay,
no.
let me ask you both, Scotty and Dave and Kang-Shi,
All
little
both of us.
sister, Rainy, little sister, Kang-Shi, we call it.
Kang-Chi.
How would you bring your kids into that? I saw the picture of Samwise. I call him Samwise, but in your attire and whatnot. And how would you introduce that to your past life?
I think I would probably take them somewhere new. I know we wanted to take them to
The little one up
Brennan
here.
the Glen that was up here, because that's new and it's starting, and there's not so much play in who's got what position and who's in the power spots out at that fair yet. And that's where I would start them, where they can kind of have fun and there's not all that garbage yet.
There's still an openness.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand that from my perspective as an outsider. Oh, beautiful picture. In the sense of a lot of politics now, a lot of politics, and that should not ever play. We are pretenders. We're just players, and play it. Don't.
We're not actors, we're movie stars. Oh, wait, the other way around.
Yeah. I've known Scotty as a king, my lord, and Dave Potter as the jester. No, I don't know. But he is a jester now. We play our roles, and that's
Sure we do.
straight and forthwith. And Rainy, I never met you, but I love you because
you guys have never met face to face.
No, but you're my brother's
Have you met
wife,
them face-to-face?
and that's good.
Thanksgiving?
That's good. And you
My
have
mom?
these
Someone?
beautiful
No.
children.
When did
And
you guys
I
meet
was a
face-to-face?
player as well.
At Bloomington.
Not profound as being paid.
Way back, yeah.
But I'm in Tuxedo, New York, and Warwick, New York, but 6 miles away is Tuxedo, New York, as big as Shakopee.
By the way, Rainy has met you face to face once. She just corrected me. Way back when I had the big house in Bloomington, and we were doing the Bloomington historical days at the Bloomington place. So
okay.
By the way, that's Flynn in the picture.
Yep.
And I'm just loading up. Somebody asked me to, a producer that I know. Oh, let's see. Did it show?
You know, I just have to say, looking at this picture of Flynn, and it's true of all the kids, they really lucked out on the gene pool. They
sure
got the
did.
best of both sides there.
Yeah, Flynn is such a spitting image of his mom, Rainey here, and you can see in their facial features.
Oh,
he looks
indeed.
just like her some days. And of course, the little girls both look like Rainey.
As a reenactor myself, and I don't speak for all reenactors, but as a reenactor, we all covet it, but also we pass on what they see. And the best, as being a teacher from the gambit of preschool to NYU here in New York City, teaching, we, by example, I love that picture. Love that picture.
That's
by
I'll explain when
example.
you're done.
Yeah, by example, we are teachers. Just live your life. Live it. Do it. And it's justified.
Yeah. That's the whole 20 years from now Mark Twain quote that I give. Just do what you have to do. Sometimes it's harder for me. Since my heart surgery and all of that, I've been slower getting back on my feet. And because I was slower getting back on my feet, I didn't keep on top of getting into better shape because it hurt, and it was just like, I'm not going to bother with that. And now it's slower for me. I'm not as fast and quick as I used to be. I can't pick things up the way I used to. I don't have endurance like I used to. So all on that physical realm. But
it's a chapter in your life. That's what I've come to reconcile with myself. That chapter in the book is closed, and I did this once upon a time. I did this once upon a time. I did that, and now I'm ready to sit and watch my children, my family unfold. Mm-hmm. And God, I love that picture, Scotty.
Well,
both of you.
I'll tell you about this picture.
He looks better than you in the outfit.
This picture is, folks. Somebody asked me who's in independent film, and she was just making a comment. I would love to see a side by side of you and Sam in that costume. So I took this a little older picture of me. This is not my fest days. This is back about 6 or 7 years ago when I was out visiting the fest. And this is Sam from yesterday. So I took and I merged the two photos together, made it look like we're standing side by side, little Photoshop work. And so this is Sam, my 21-year-old boy, and me in the same costume, same coat, same shirt, same scarf, he's got different, he's got the green velvet tights. Mine were black. Same boots, same sword. So only years apart. So we're standing side by side there. But that's how he looked going to the festival yesterday. Now, it was funny. He went out there, and Dave, I don't know if you experienced some of this when you went out a few weeks ago, but he didn't recognize any. There were only 2 people that walked up and recognized him, because he hasn't really been out there since he was a kid.
Right.
But he didn't see a lot of people. And he knew John Baird, the King, he knew. And he said something about the red garter.
Oh, did he?
Get that, he said. And Sam said, I'm Scotty's son. And he says, and he was like, oh, my God. And he says, of course you should wear that. And so on and so forth. But Flynn, it was the first time he'd been out there since he was 2 years old, I think. So they all had a good time yesterday.
I was gonna call I was gonna call Craig up and say, okay, I want you to dick with these guys. But Rainey and I had a discussion, and I thought, politically, maybe I better not. So I didn't. Didn't want to create problems for the boys.
But the best teacher is by example. Right? The best teacher is by example. The best teacher is by example. I say it as a teacher myself. And I love this picture because it says it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. And I know the King.
Oh.
And now I know his son. And I love him. I love Samwise. He's great. Yeah. He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
He's getting to be a better and better boy. The older,
but he's a man now, and so he's donning. He's donning the example of his father, and that's what fathers should do. In that way. And so the clothing, persona, and that's why I love Scottish culture. Even though I'm Native American, they say MacDonald, and that means son of McDonald, son of Donald. It's that whole encompassing thing. Hebrew is the same way.
Those Scots make you crave a quarter pounder every fortnight.
I am the son of so-and-so, Joseph, I'm the son of, and we've lost those terms. And we should. I'm the daughter of Marion. I'm the daughter of Chelsea, or whatever it may be. So it's I think when we reenact, and I still reenact here in New York.
Yeah.
It reminds people of their heritage.
Yes.
I'm not talking about Native American right now. I'm just talking about all heritage, where we can say where we come from and who we are, and right now these are desperate times with the Ukraine and the people there and all that kind of stuff. Let's not fight. Let's not put our ideology before ourselves. So let's just be human.
Yeah.
Yes. I'd written an article 20 years ago. Well, not quite, but it was a lot less than that, 12 years ago, for the first issue of Intrepid magazine back in 2011, entitled "Oh, the Humanity." And you can find that on my academia website, academia.edu, and look up Scotty Roberts. Oh, the Humanity. And I wrote about politics and being conservative, having problems with the conservative movement, having problems with the Republicans, having problems with the Democrats, and where I said I've come out to be an independent, and it's like, damn the politics and up the humanity. So common sense, I think. If I was to found a party, it would have to be the Common Sense Party.
Yeah.
Because I don't really care if I don't want to fight for a politician because he's fighting for his party. I want to fight for the person who will support common sense. So
I like that. And that's a very Native American approach to it. Chia, older brother, Scotty.
Yeah.
Chia is older brother. He calls me Misum, little brother. And Chia Dave as well. I value your thoughts. I value your perspective. It keeps him in check. I'm in New York, but it doesn't matter. We could be anywhere in the world. We could be in the same room. I'd love to be in a tavern, St. Paul's.
Yeah, me too.
And just sit and schmooze. So it's good. It's really good to have this kind of thought. Oh, Flynn and Samwise.
There's my 13-year-old and our 13-year-old and my 21-year-old.
Lovely chaps.
Side by side.
Lovely chaps. They got it going on. That's good. That's good.
They do.
And that's all we have. To be immortal. Immortal is not because we can live forever. It's through our children that we live. Yes. I believe. And so Raini and Scotty have created children that will live beyond their time, and then they will procreate to create another immortality. What I have is a CD of music that if people want to listen, they'll listen.
You need to cut a new CD. I'm telling you.
Indeed.
With prayers on it and your music and your flute music and so on.
Yeah.
And 20 years from now, you'll regret more of the things you didn't do than the things you did do.
You're right there.
Do it. Just do it. Make it so. Make it show.
Make it happen, Captain.
Make it so.
Uh-huh.
I got to tell you, my favorite movie that I love, and I want you guys to watch it and think about me, is Master and Commander on the Far Side of the World with Russell Crowe.
Yes.
Love
oh,
that.
God. There's a song in there that they sing. They're having their dinner, and they say, "Safe and sound and come again. Let the waters roll, Jack. Safe and sound." Yeah,
something
and they
like
go
that.
On. That's the sea shanty. Sea shanty. And so I'm going to put that in your heads. I'm gonna put that in your head, so you're gonna look it up.
We got all kinds of sea shanties bouncing around in our heads. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic round, rolling down to old Maui. And we do all of those with the regiment. We sang those all the time. You used to hang at the campfire with us with the regiment.
To me, they were sacred songs, just like being in a sweat lodge. In many
Aboard
ways.
the good ship Venus, you really should have seen us with a figurehead of a whore in bed in the mast of a phallic. Oh, never mind.
But you know, that's to me, that's being human. That's being human in the conflict of life. These men had to adapt and comfort themselves.
Yeah,
they had no women. They had, no ale, no drink sometimes, and they would sing just to alleviate the suffering, because we all suffer, and pain is necessary because it makes you feel alive. You're here. Oh, I'm here.
we used to sing those sea shanties. We would pass the bottle of Loch Dew, Blackwater, Scotch around the campfire, and we'd stand and sing in our uniforms.
Beautiful.
At night. Rainey, what is your favorite sea shanty?
I don't know.
You listen to what's your favorite song?
What's my favorite? I don't know. I got a lot of them.
Sing me a song.
No, I'm not going to sing.
Sing us a song. Everybody wants Rainey to sing a song. Raise your hand.
Sing a song, sister.
No.
Sister, sing
I
a
see all
song.
those
Just
hands.
first thing in your head.
No.
How do you say little sister?
Tung Shi.
Tunk-shi.
Feng-shi.
Tongue
Shi.
You perverted weirdo.
I
I'm your wife.
could call it. Hey, how do you say wife?
Okay, this is a long word. Me, say me.
Me,
Tai Chug.
me Tai Chu. That sounds very Klingon. Me.
You're
Tai
right.
Chu.
But me Tai Chug. Me Tai Chug means my woman. My woman.
Me Tai Chu.
I'm tied to you.
Yes.
Tai Chu.
Dave, you're right. Chad, Dave,
My
you're
woman.
right.
You're weird.
I'm tied to you.
Here, Grumpy Stack. My favorite,
Like
my
it or
favorite
not.
song is "I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt." That is totally it.
Yeah, can I borrow that shirt?
No.
Fred
Oh.
said.
She is too sexy for her shirt.
I will say I like a lot of music, and I'm sure my family is tired of all my songs and all the singing I do all day long.
I love hearing her sing. I can hear her from down here. She's upstairs doing stuff, and she's singing along with. She'll play Pandora, and she's got all of her. It's like the Waylon Jennings. Have you not Waylon Jennings, but the Waylon Jennings,
Jenny's.
the Wailing Jennies. That type of music, kind of bluegrassy to foresty.
Beautiful. I love country. I'm a big Johnny Cash fan. The old country.
Mhm.
And Kenny Chesney. So it's great.
Yeah. See, I go even a little bit more like, I don't know. It's like the old churchy gospel. I really like the old churchy gospel, like
Oh, Dave,
Ralph
won't you
Stanley.
bar me over for another year? Won't you bar me over for another year? I'm not mocking it. It's
Yeah,
just
you are.
no, that's fun. It's fun music. She likes the "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" type of
Oh, I
music.
love that.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good
The-
music. Good music.
And then,
Yeah.
Soggy Bottom Boys.
yeah.
Soggy Bottom
Oh
Boys.
yeah, Soggy Bottom Eyes.
And then the other
Oh,
stuff is like
boy.
Forest Sun is a good band.
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
like them.
They're more of like Americana, bluegrassy. I don't know. It's good stuff.
When I turn on Pandora when I'm doing stuff around the house, I'll just turn on. I'll put her music albums on. I've gotten so used to hearing them. I like them.
Yeah.
I like it's that, or I like Irish music, or Lorena McKenna type. But that could get so soft and somber at times that it's like
Oh yeah.
you're vacuuming and you're going.
I've massaged for
She
years
massages to
to
that.
Lorena McKenna and the other chick. What? Oh.
Enya.
Enya.
Yeah. So all that music for me is not. It's not. I don't want to say it's not relaxing, but it's puts me in a mode where I'm like, okay, now I've gotta work.
You know what? I just put that music on to put her in a mood to massage somebody.
It's not even.
Yeah, Scotty, you can put that movie and then just stand in front of her. Just stand in
No,
front
and I
of her.
just lay down on her massage table, naked.
You're a nasty boy, Dave. You're nasty.
Yeah.
It just puts me in a different headspace, and I don't want.
And it's guys.
No.
It's like food. It's like food because it's food for the mind and the heart, but it's also like I can't eat Chinese every day. So
Not every day.
no.
I don't know how the Chinese do it.
Yeah,
How do
exactly.
they pull that off?
So I got to be in a
They use
mood
chopsticks. They get less.
to have curry from India, Chinese, or Italian, or Mexican, or whatever. It's just
But
sometimes
that's what I
wanna-
love about America. It's like we've got it all laid out in front of us like a big giant smorgasbord.
Yeah,
There it is.
sometimes
I've
I
gotten
just
to the place where I don't even know what kind of food I like anymore. I like red meat, but like if I'm hungry and we're not cooking and I'm digging around for something, it's like I don't know what I want to eat. I don't know what I like. I could make pasta, but that's so full of carbs, and I could do. I told her, oh, this is my wife for you. I said a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I said, man, I'm really craving a good burger. And I said, not your McDonald's type of burger. That's not a burger. That's fast food. But I said, good rich meat. And what does she up and do the next day? She's cooked these. I thought they were fabulous. Because she spices them well. She cooked these big burgers. And she goes and gets, she doesn't always acknowledge it, or sometimes she says, you don't need more red meat. Then the next day she's got red meat and she's cooking it. So for me and for the family, but really good, juicy burger. And I must have mentioned this because I remember talking about it with Dave, I think, but I cut up, thin sliced a bunch of shallots. And yeah, that's right. Because we were talking about caramelization versus sauteing.
2 hours.
And I sauteed the shallots with a little butter. And then I took a nice big beef patty, seasoned it, and threw it on top of the shallots and did the smash burger with it, and embedded them into there you go.
Nice. And then he
You got
bought
one of those
shallots
gymnasts,
for like
don't
another freaking 6 weeks, and nobody likes them except for him.
I like them. Rainey's got one like that, Ruben, except it's all leather.
Yeah.
Let's not go there.
Dave. Scotty, red meat only Oz cooked for you, buddy.
Only 5 ounces.
Oh, 5 ounces. I don't have my glasses on. Only
Yeah,
5
Scotty-
ounces. Yeah.
Scotty probably ate about 20 ounces.
Yeah, I ate 2 of those big patties she made.
my Susie, my wife, makes, I call them meatball burgers because they're so huge. You can barely squeeze them.
Yeah. Well, there's a way to get around that. And Dave should know some tricks too. You press out your patty, and you put a little divot in the middle, and that's supposed to keep it from rising. When it shrinks, they go like this. They go from a flat patty to this. So
true.
Wow.
that's old man for you.
And when Rainey, I gotta say this to Rainey, when you see an old man, not necessarily your man, but an old man at the grocery store,
I'm your old man.
and he's looking at the produce section, and he's like, hum. You know what he's thinking? He's
No.
he's thinking that, can I poop that?
That's pretty much it.
Did I poop it?
Hmm.
I don't know. I want it, but I don't know if I can
Directly
my
balance
body-
your meat intake with your Metamucil
My
intake.
my body doesn't know if it wants it. I want it, but
Yes.
Right.
I crave it fortnightly. I don't know. What is a good food? I'm not talking about health talk here, but I look at the refrigerator and I go, what's a good food that just the stuff you can eat every day? It's like,
Salmon.
I'll make a sandwich. I'll make a salad. I bought some, and it was bad for me, but I bought some Alaskan king crab salad. And,
Yeah,
it's all
you
that
bought-
crazy.
You
Wait.
bought it.
Wait,
Oh my God.
she goes, oh man. And I looked at that and I bought it. It's that creamy,
Yeah.
Alaskan
It's all
king
imitation
salad.
crab.
And Rainey goes, what are you eating over there? I said, salad. And she goes, just because it uses the word salad doesn't mean it's healthy for you. I said, don't boil it for me.
Salmon. If only you guys had a source for salmon.
I
Oh,
know,
man.
right?
Yeah, we've only got like 83 pounds left. So
I'm a PB&J guy at midnight. Like my dad would.
I am too.
Would get up and want to eat something, and I've turned into a PB&J or Cheerios
Thank
guy.
you, Grumpy Stack.
It's just easy. But my dad would go down. I remember as a child, he would take raw hamburger and salt it and pepper it, and then he would eat it raw hamburger.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I like it a little
Beef tartare, baby.
and we called it tiger meat out west here in the Dakotas. Old Prussian, old German butchers would put out raw hamburger and season it, and they would buy it. You got to eat it in a day, but then you can fry it up and make it into a patty or something. But
Right.
it was very, like, wow. So he taught me to do I was, as a little boy, I would walk, I'd see him eating, my father, God rest his soul, and in my diaper, I would walk to him with like a baby bird. I'd have my mouth open, because he was eating, and he would stuff raw meat or pistachios or
Raw meat and
olives,
pistachios.
sardines,
Sound right.
things that were, people don't eat. Head cheese,
Oh,
is
Ugh.
So he
Crazy.
ate raw hamburger and head cheese and all that. It's a shame he died young. I wonder what that happened.
My pet pig was made into head cheese. It was
Oh,
I
very
can't do
weird
head cheese.
experience.
My pet
I love
pig.
head
Every time
cheese.
she's had cheese, she thinks of her pet pig.
Yep, Sally.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Poor Sally.
I was told Grandpa would take Sally, but when it was time, he was going to butcher Sally, and I said okay.
Oh boy.
And
puppy.
2 years later, she was
What you
butchered, and that
doing?
was fine.
Come on.
And she tasted great until one day I came home and the kitchen was smelling so good. And I said, Grandma, what's in the pot? And I went and picked up the big stock pot
Oh,
lid, and Sally's head was in there. And I was, yep, it was like, I'm done. I didn't eat meat for a while.
It was a Lovecraft
Wait,
moment.
this bacon is who?
Well, I knew it was Sally. I knew it was Sally, but until her head was in the pot.
Yeah,
It's
I one
guess-
thing to
We're gonna
eat
cook
the
you one
pet.
of
It's
these
another
days.
thing to
Yeah,
look
we're
at the
gonna
pet
cook
while
you.
you're eating it.
Oh, come on.
Right.
Oh god. The thing I can top it is my grandmother singeing a prairie dog.
Singeing a
Lakota.
prairie dog.
Cleaning the hair off of it so that
Oh
she
yeah.
can-
Oh,
And
sure.
it stunk to high heaven.
Was
But
it
it
out of the
tasted
house?
so it
What
tasted
rat
so
you
good.
have.
It tasted so good. and she boiled it. As Lakota people, native people, we boiled everything. So she boiled it, and oh wow, it was like a pork chop. It was you'd never think
Here's
of
a
it.
pork
But
chop for you. What?
You know what I really enjoy, and I don't get it very often, is good Lakota fry bread.
oh, I missed that.
Yeah. Where she's I'm just a stepping stone to mom, by the way.
Come on.
Go on,
Come
fatty.
on. Big baby.
Jeez. That's not a pug, that's a lug.
What are you doing?
She's pug and she's mini English bulldog, so she's got more beef and height.
I'll tell
Right.
Scotty. I'll tell you a joke, a Dakota joke.
Okay.
So Indian man, Native American man, Dakota, not Lakota, my tribe, but walks back into the house and says he's hungry, and he says she says to him, put another log on the fire. So he throws a log on the fire, and then while she's cooking, he starts to eat. He says, put another dog on the fire.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Because we were dog eaters.
Dog eaters. Nice.
Put
Or
another
hot
dog
dogs.
on the fire.
You know, that's a whole nother thing for a hot dog.
Yeah, there's no dog in that.
There's no real dog in that.
Unfortunately, yeah, right. But
Well, now that the dog is on my desk, there's my dog's butthole. See, this is the stuff that makes Rainey laugh.
makes me want to put a thermometer in there. Just to
really.
check it. You got to check
Is
this.
he done yet?
102 is healthy. So
yeah. If you're gonna bake a pug, make sure you take it up to 102.
there you go. And you got to, take your Scotty, take your finger, lick it, and then.
Bite him, Lucy.
Hi, puppy.
Bite him, Lucy.
Oh, the puppy.
Bite him.
So
Nice.
yeah, she's probably the best dog we've had, but she's demented as hell. So
Shouldn't play with your food like that.
yeah, really.
Yeah.
Oh, now she's gonna go try to hump my leg.
Yeah, now she's humping mom's leg. She gets all excited, tail waggy. Then she wants to hump Rainey's leg. And it's like, that is so unnatural.
Is this what you want? Is this what you were looking
She told
for?
Rainey told her last night. Who'd you tell that to? The kids or Jamie or somebody? You said, yeah, she's just like Scotty.
Yeah.
Get him excited. He wants to hump my leg. So
Rainey, was that a dog tampon that you just put down? I wasn't sure.
no, that's
a
the
cheese stick.
cheese stick.
That's what she was looking for. That's what she was up on the desk for.
There was bacon sitting on the stove that was leftover bacon, and she was just walking around the house whimpering. And then she'd go, what's she whimpering about? Then she'd go in the kitchen. We'd see her sitting, looking at the stove, just whimpering. And it's like, stop now. Stop your begging. So she's a horrible beggar.
No, I think that's
Uncle
dog
Dave's
tampon.
the same way. I just
Yeah,
kind of walk
Uncle
through
Dave's
the
the same way. He
kitchen.
comes and he sits on the ground.
Dog
sits on the living
tampon.
room floor
Dog
and whimpers.
tampon.
Oh, look at her going after that cheese stick.
Oh,
She's a Wisconsinite. She's a
You're gonna give her that
Wisconsinite.
whole cheese stick?
No.
See, you know why she begs? Because my family gives her people food all the time.
Ah.
So
God, that's not good. Your breath is stanky.
she got stinky
Because she
breath.
eats cheese.
It's like, what you been eating? Cat poop. The
Cat
cat litter box is like the treat box.
That's where she gets kitty treats from.
Oh boy.
Kitty treats. Oh, rough kitty treats.
Cats make good coffee too, I'm told, but I won't drink it.
Yeah. I don't think I do. Do I?
Smell like cat treats. Litter box.
Do I smell like cat treats?
No.
Oh, that's good. Phew. Other things, but not cat treats.
Lucy fur.
Andrea says, fry bread is so good. Some of the natives here sell it. I love fry bread. When we used to do I haven't had good fry bread since we did the regiment.
Oh my God.
We make faux fry bread. You know, we'll get like tortillas or something and fry them up with a little bit of oil in the pan till they get all puffy. And then
Not the same.
drop them into a mixture of
No.
sugar and cinnamon.
We're not humping.
Not the
But
same.
it's
You
not
know,
the same thing. Elephant
closest
ears, that's what I'm
The
thinking.
closest thing I can get to out here in New York is naan bread, which is Indian.
Naan. I eat naan all the time.
Naan? Yep.
Yeah. And
Not
that's it.
N-O-N, N-A-N.
NAM.
Yep. That's the closest thing I can get.
If it's naan bread, what is it?
I don't know, Doug. How many pairs of old balls do you smell? Scotty smells like gold balls.
Just down on Main Street, one of the neighbors owns a taco fry bread truck.
Oh,
Parked in the driveway.
That's cool.
I really wish there was more gluten-free food trucks.
Yeah.
Maggie makes good fry bread.
Yeah.
Rainey wants to start up a food truck business.
I was just going
Do
to say that. Rainey, you should do a food truck. A lot of food trucks out here in New York.
Yeah.
Do a fry bread
Beautiful, lovely.
Right.
Yeah.
You've heard what she wants to call her truck.
Well, it depends.
You know, wear a
She's got a
low,
couple of different kinds she wants to do.
wear a low halter, and
Just be Olsen. Just be an Olsen,
Just
and you'll
be an
sell
Olsen?
tons of them.
Just be an Olsen.
I want Mo and Lester's ice cream truck.
Mo and Lester's.
Yep. And then I want the Wiener Hole hot dog truck.
that'd be great. And show your bust.
my
That
boo-boos.
would sell.
That would sell. Yeah, that would
It
sell.
helps.
It's what has that got to do with hot dogs? Nothing. So
I'll take a hot dog.
I want a gluten-free food truck though with like mini donuts, cheese curds.
And I think that's boss. It's boss because no one's ever done that, and
Right.
it's unprecedented. It's avant-garde,
Right.
and those people that you want, and so usually the people that have a lot of money will say, "Oh, there's a food truck here that is what I like, gluten-free,
right.
yada yada yada," and they'll come.
We
and
went
people-
to an event in Stillwater and they had a gluten-free cheese curd truck and they were all out of freaking cheese curds.
because everybody wanted them.
Everybody bought them. It was like, oh. So,
Damn.
Gluten-free fry bread. I
If
wonder
I
how that
did
would
it-
taste. What would you make that out of?
That would be craziness, but it'd be taken in. You know,
yeah.
you plug it with Native American fry bread, gluten free, and then everybody's gonna come.
Don't call it gluten-free. Just say Native American fry bread with the little GF symbol in the corner.
Yeah.
Gluten-free, if you put gluten-free on it, that's what pulls the people who don't get to get the food they like.
That's true. That's true.
And that's why the cheese curd truck was out of cheese curds at noon on Saturday.
That makes sense. Oh, that's Ruben's phone.
Sorry.
Let's wait.
It's all right.
Hey. Yeah, I got it.
Let's see. What's everybody saying? I really miss I got to put my glasses back on so I can read from a distance. I really miss the NYC Dirty Water Dogs. Dirty Water Dogs.
Yeah. I have no problem with that. Being on Broadway or being up around there and stopping at a food cart and getting food.
Yep. Beth Kirkham's heading to Arizona, and she's stopping for tamales and fry bread. That sounds good.
Don't stop at the first place. Stop at like the third place.
Oh,
Then
here
know
you go,
it's gonna be
Rainey.
good.
Andrea says there's a coffee stand in Billings, baristas and bikinis.
Nice.
You could do weenies in bikinis.
I'm not about bikinis.
Oh, that's genius.
And not to be like, why do you work in a bikini around hot food? You're gonna have burn marks all over your
That's
stomach
very
and
true.
chest.
There's that. See, I didn't think that far ahead.
Okay. If not, I'll give you a ring.
So
Is that a
Wow, it
coffee stain
feels
in your pants
later.
or did you get your period?
Pretty dark.
that's my wife's humor, by the way. Dave, he's dying.
Dave.
You're killing him.
Sun is setting later and whatnot. So.
Oh.
Oh,
Breathe, Dave, breathe.
It's all right. It's all right. We'll mute Ruben so we don't have to listen to his conversation. There
Yeah.
we
just I got this much strength.
go. There it is.
Oh my goodness.
Who still has a landline phone? Says Grumpy Stack. I think Ruben does.
Do you want to unmute Ruben?
I'm trying to unmute you now. Oh, there you
Hey,
go.
sorry,
I had you
guys.
muted so we didn't have to listen to your.
I'm gonna have to bounce here in about 15 minutes because I got my class.
That's all right.
And
All right. Tell everybody where they can go see your class.
if you go to TPI razors, like you raise the roof,
Mhm.
razors.
Not razors like you shave with.
Yeah.
TP razors.
tprazors.org and contact Mackenzie Tilton tprazors.org. She will connect you to my class. It's a free class. I've been doing this for 7 years. 4 years at in Greenwich Village in Manhattan at NYU, New York University, 4 years physically, and then now because of the COVID, we turned it to Zoom. So it's been 4 years now. Actually, it's coming on. Yeah,
That's
that
cool.
much where I do my class bi-weekly, 2 Sundays a month. I usually come on Scotty's show, not just to plug it, but also to Grumpy Stack.
Leave it to Grumpy.
So
Keep
it's
it for
just-
my bungholio.
yeah, cornholio. But just to let people know if they're interested in something like that.
Sure.
My Lakota language, as well as culture, spirituality, ceremony, and whatnot. And so, yeah, there it is. tprazors.org. Mackenzie Tilton at tprazors.org. And, just to put in your email address, just send you a link and then you'll be on deck. So
Cool.
there it is. And thank
And
you, Scotty. Thank you, Potter.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Good to see you, brother. Misu.
And I love you guys. Chia,
Love you
Potter,
too.
Chia, Scotty, Tungshi, Rainy, little
Tungshi.
sister.
Oh, wait. How do you say wife again? Michai-
Michaichug.
Michachu.
There's a
Michaichug.
Michaichug.
Michachug.
That's what he's saying.
Michachu.
Michaichug.
Michachug.
There you go.
With the g
Michachug.
sound at the
He
end.
didn't have
With the
the-
guh.
I'm going
And
to
it-
put that on a shirt for her. Michachug.
Yeah, Michaichug. And then arrow. Point that way.
Yeah.
There you go.
It means my woman. That's what it
My
means.
woman.
Nice.
Michachug.
And little sister was what?
Tungshi.
Tongshi.
Tungshi. And older
to spell those
sister is
phonetically.
Tunke. Older sister is Tunke.
Buffalo?
Tungshi.
I'm going to have you spell those out for me.
Wait a minute.
when-
Wait a minute. What's the word for buffalo?
Tanka.
Tatanka.
Tonka and Tongshi. So what are you saying, that they look like cows? What are you
No,
Tatanka.
that's something totally different. But Tatanka is what it means. Tatanka, buffalo or
has
bison,
horns.
means His Majesty.
Oh,
His Majesty.
Ah, that's pretty
Tatanka.
cool. Tatanka. I learned that one in Dances with Wolves. He said, the buffalo, and they're going, oh, Tatanka, Tatanka. Yeah.
Right.
And so,
But Tungshi, so it's like thank you, but take away the U and thank S-I. Tungshi. Thank
okay.
S-I. Little sister.
Choo choo.
because they're always doing stuff for you.
Yeah.
Me
Tunke.
choo chug. Right? Me choo chug. Chachug.
Me tai chug. Like a
Me
You're
tai
tai.
tied to her.
Me tai chug. Think
You're
tai-
tied to her. You're
me
tied to her.
Tai chug.
Remember that.
Potter knows.
Been there, done that. I cut hair ties.
You're still tied, bro. You're still tied.
Yeah.
And Audrey, by the way, had to run. She's working at Disneyland these days, but she's, of all places, she's working in the Star Wars world area.
Wow.
And, so she's got to, she says, the mouse is calling. I'm on first order watch today.
Have a
so-
beautiful day, and I love you all. We love you too, lady. Be well.
So she's got
Live long and prosper. It's
There
not
it is.
Star
See you,
Wars.
Ruben.
but- Hey guys,
Close enough.
I'm bouncing
See you, Ruben.
out. So, yeah.
Have
All
fun.
Good seeing you.
All right. So
Oh.
my rib cage hurts today. My back hurts today. I woke
Oh,
up
my!
with
I
back
slept in the
hurting
chair
really
last night.
high
I
up.
couldn't lay down at all.
I think from pulling the wagon the way I did.
Pulling the wagon, yeah.
Yeah. She hitched me like a tatonka to the wagon. My tai chug. And so I was pulling that wagon with my backpack last night through the muddy lane coming out of the woods. And yeah, no, I mean, it pulled on my back differently.
I know.
And so
I
my
feel
upper
for
back
ya.
was a little sore this
I
morning.
feel for you.
And then I told him just take it off because I had to hunch over and push the wagon from the back end so it would
Yeah.
be straight. I'm like, take it off. No.
I told her,
I'm not
stop
gonna.
hunching
then I
over and
stopped,
pushing it. Let me
and
just
then he's
pull it.
struggling, and it's like, God damn, just take the fucking wagon
I
off.
didn't
so
want
I can
her
pull it with my
to-
hand.
So by the time you got to the car, how big were the wheels?
Don't hit me. I don't care if my mind goes immediately to entendre. Let go. Let me pull it with my hand.
Yeah, I was thinking about that song, "I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt," and I'm thinking, you're an Olsen. Just take it off if you're too sexy for it. That's
That's
the
an
whole
Olsen
point.
thing.
That
So,
explains so much.
it does. And that's how I met your mom.
Right.
Not your mom.
Not your mom.
Say to my kids, your mom.
I figured that's what you meant.
Yeah. So, hey, Jeremy, good to see you. We're just about wrapping up this morning. We've only got a few minutes left, and we don't have a time limit or a time window we have to fit into on Sunday mornings. It's just more
No,
sitting
and
and
chat,
being cash.
having our morning coffee.
And I got Rainy with me this morning, which is nice. She's been so busy
Always a blessing.
and
Always
so
a blessing.
tired out that Sunday mornings, it's like, oh my God.
And now the popcorn sale started. So from now on Sundays, we'll get to be out selling popcorn. Yay! Ugh.
Oh, yay.
Boy Scouts and popcorn, Girl Scouts and cookies.
It's
Yeah,
not
there
the
it
Boy
is.
Scouts anymore. It's just Scouts BSA
Scouts BSA.
because we're all inclusive.
That's right. Rainey has the nuclear codes. Yes, she does.
But
So.
the girls
She's got the missiles, that's for sure.
have to be separated from the boy troop.
Perfect. Thank you, Dave. Dave is so proud of himself on that
Yeah.
one.
Oh yeah, you laugh. Laugh
Look at
hard. Make it hard.
I broke myself.
Let us see you cry.
So let's see. Who would be Fat Boy? And what was the names of the bombs on Hiroshima and Fat Boy and
Oh,
I don't know.
something little something and Fat Boy? I don't know. Staying with the nuclear theme, you know.
God.
Dave's broken. We would have been gone long ago then, I said.
So much pain. It feels, I mean, you have these chest pains and it shoots down your arm and it's like, oh my God.
Jeremy, it was 65 degrees here yesterday. So we had a little drizzly rain. It was supposed to be sunny, but it wasn't.
Fat man and little boy.
Fat man and little boy. That's it. It's so strange when you can be both of those. That's called self-deprecating humor, folks.
Not what I want to name mine.
No.
So walking yesterday, we had to take all the kids out on the hike, and the
Not
boys, the Boy Scout master and assistant Scout master went, and I went since I'm the Girl Scout master now. And we're walking, the three of us, and all the kids were up ahead of us, and Dave finds somebody dropped their knots. Little pamphlet. It's all
How to
covered-
tie different knots.
How to tie different knots, and it's all covered in what's the plasticky stuff? Laminate. It's all laminated. It's been out there a long time, and I don't remember what the joke was made, and they're just giggling, and I'm looking at him like, "What the hell is your problem?" He's like, "It's a masturbatory joke."
What did he call it?
He said, "Dave
You
likes
broke
knots."
up on that one. You broke up
He
on
said,
that.
"Dave
Randy.
likes knots." We good now?
It's a
Can you hear me?
masturbatory joke.
They said he said it was a masturbatory joke, and I just started giggling, and then he was like, I can't remember the name of that. And he's like, yeah, tie that knot a little tighter or something. I was like, oh my God, you guys.
Nice.
And then I was like, I want to know if that's a real thing. I said, but don't tell me because I really don't want to know. And they just walked on.
I'll show you. So I'll show you how that works. We should probably start the men scouts. Teach them how to be gentlemen. Nobody knows anymore. Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Unleashed. I look at things, even my own kid, and I saw teenage boys yesterday that would, that don't know the first thing about treating a woman with any kind of etiquette at all. And we sit and we joke around on this show, but when it comes to real life and you're out in real life situations, there was something with one boy and his mom, and she dropped something, or there was something like that. And he didn't bend over to help her or to pick it up or to give her the seat or to.
That doesn't matter. That is any kid with any mother.
Yeah.
Kids do not respect
I
their
get
mother.
that.
But if it would have been another person, like Damon will jump up and help me anytime I ask.
Yes.
I asked Flynn to help me, and that's a struggle. He'll do it, but he's usually like, I don't wanna.
Yeah.
He gets that weird voice he does too. But if it were another boy coming along and it wasn't the parent, then yeah, they'd probably stop what they're doing and help. And most scouts are that way, but when it's their mom,
yep. It's like Flynn. I'm trying to teach him a little bit. He wanted to mow some lawns last week as we're approaching fall to try to earn a little extra money, but he's a little shy. Believe it or not,
he's a lot
shy.
And I think a lot of it has to do with anxiety. But even though we keep going to the freaking doctor and saying, I think my child has anxiety, they don't do anything about it.
But he, at the same time, he talking to the, what are you going to do? But took him to the neighbor. He said, will you walk over there with me so I could talk to the neighbor? Sure. And so I was trying to show him how you just ask, hey, you want your lawn mowed, and here's what I can do, and here's the price. He can't do it. What made me think of that was Grumpy Stacks said, stand up and look someone in the eye when you're greeting them. Flynn just cannot do it. He struggles. And then he had to go talk to the guy because it started raining about when he could get into the backyard to do the backyard. And I said, just go over and ask him. No, he didn't want to go over and ask him himself. And so he didn't get that done. So it took him an extra day.
Well, part of that is the social media stuff. The kids texting each other all the time. They don't know how to look at somebody in the eye and talk.
Right. Oh, you say that. What did Flynn? Scotty was talking to Flynn the other day. I don't think Flynn even said goodbye. He just hung up the phone. He said what he wanted to say. Dad said.
And I responded to him,
and then he just hung up the phone. And it was like,
it's like, where'd you go?
Supposed to say goodbye?
I said to Rainy, he's gone already.
Flynn it's out, like, come on, something. Let us know you're hanging up.
Signing off. Flynn out.
Flynn out.
And the way my kids answer the phone sometimes too, it's like, hello.
Yes.
And
that probably doesn't help though, because every time they call me, I'm like, yes. What do you need? What do you want?
And I tell my kids.
That was an Ellery.
That was Ellery. That's pretty typical Ellery. So I've told all my kids, when you answer the phone, either mom's phone or my phone, you pick it up. You answer, hello, Scott Roberts' phone. Hello, Rainey Roberts' phone or Rainy's phone. I always pick up when her phone rings and it's sitting on my desk and she's upstairs. I'll grab it and I'll go, Rainy's phone. And I said, answer it politely. Instead of answering it, you'll hear them running across the house. And they run down, your phone's ringing. It's Uncle Dave. I go, well, pick it up. And you don't have to run it across the house. But yeah, teaching, I think.
Hello, Scott's pants. He's not in them right now. Can I help you?
Some of those basic skills of courtesy. I would teach that in a school. I'd teach a courtesy course. I'd call it how to talk to chicks. So now they ain't here. Call back. Click. Yep, that's pretty much it.
Maybe what we'll have to do is I'll get a bunch of swords and baldricks. We'll put all the boys in baldricks, and we'll teach them how to properly relate to women.
Jeremy Hanson's hit that on the spot. Today's society's created the anxiety that young men have today.
Yeah,
I believe that.
You don't want to be assertive, toxic masculinity and all that bullshit.
I tell Flynn a lot. Flynn used to, when he was a little younger, he would walk around like this with his hands like this. And I'd say, Flynn, and I wasn't insulting him. I'd say, don't walk with your hands like that. I said, you probably feel like you're protecting yourself and drawing. I said, roll your shoulders back and stand up straight and put yourself out there. And it was gentle. It wasn't like, hey, you simpy little kid, stick your chest. I wasn't talking to him like that.
Don't be a Nancy boy.
Don't be a Nancy boy.
I'll be back.
All right. I'll be here. I'll watch you go. Hey.
That's always a nice view.
I got the better view just now.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Rainey's got an ass
you.
like an onion. Makes you want to cry.
Yeah, makes me want to cry. Makes you shed a tear. So, hey, Ken Bellows. It's not really a show, Ken. It's just talking. So, but Jeremy Hansen, you're right. Young men need a little bit more of that. I taught Sam all about that stuff. Flynn's been a little slower coming, but he's a little younger. I always said, always look somebody in the eye when you talk to them. I'm 100% toxic masculine Gen X man who doesn't care about the weak feelings.
Same here.
Feelings. Same here. I'm a boomer, though, I guess. So I'm right on the cusp, the tail end of the boomer.
Technically, I am because I was born in '63, but I was raised with Gen X. So,
see, I was born in '60. So the end of '60, November of '60. So I was right at the tail end cusp of being a boomer.
You seem so much older than I am.
I am so much older than you are. There's me lovely. Wait, me taichug.
Not only do we sell it, but we eat it.
Oh, popcorn. By the way, Rowan and Ellery are selling popcorn. I'll get you all links where you can all buy bags of popcorn. Like this. Can I show this off?
You can, but hold on. I'm really excited that this year, for the first year of all the years, it actually says what it contains for allergens, like contains milk and soy. Manufactured in a facility that handles peanuts, tree nuts, eggs, and wheat. It's like, oh my gosh, I can eat it now if I want.
That dog looking for food.
But anyways,
always.
I was going to ask. Hi, my name is Raini Roberts, and Scotty Roberts. Can we support our kids in selling popcorn by opening this bag?
Yeah, here. This is one of my favorite kinds. It's the salted caramel popcorn. Trail's End is what the Scouts are selling. Is it an expensive bag of popcorn? Hell yes. What is this, $20?
That went up $5. It is now $25 this year.
$25 for that bag. It's a 16-ounce bag of caramel corn for $25.
It's freaking popcorn.
You're not paying for the popcorn. You are paying to support a child in Scouts. 73% of the profits go back to the Scouts. Whether it goes to the council, to the
I can support a child in Ethiopia a lot cheaper.
You could.
You can support a child in Ethiopia for 3 months on $25.
No, it'd be 1 month. You buy one of these bags, it'll support a child in Ethiopia for 30 days. It's cheaper than your cup of coffee at the coffee shop.
But yeah, that's we go out and we do the public things, like at the openings of stores, like Walmart. We went to the camping store and stuff, and people go, "Oh, I'll buy some popcorn for the Scouts," and you go, "That'll be $25 for that bag." And they're like, "What?"
Yeah, what?
And you have to justify it. You have to go.
You can get it.
What you're really doing, you're buying a bag of popcorn for about $1, but you're giving $24 to the Scouts.
Right.
Okay, I guess I can do it for that. Is what they'll say. Holy crap!
Get kettle corn cheaper from the rendezvous.
Field guy, it's not about the popcorn. You are
It's not.
donating You're donating $25 to the Scout, and you're getting a gift of popcorn.
Popcorn's $2.
That's really
The
what
rest
it
of
is. All you're doing is you're donating to the Scouts, and it's a donation to the Scouts. And hey, we'll give you this bag of popcorn.
That's what they tell us to have.
Let's give it the test.
But the girls give you a whole box of cookies, and it's less money.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the girls out of that $5 gets 25 cents. That was 5 years ago when Rowan was in Girl Scouts, and the girls didn't get the 25 cents. It went back to the council, and then it went back to, I don't know what the council gave to the troop, and then for us, for our pack, for Scouts BSA,
It's a tax write-off. The old guy.
For Scouts BSA, 73 goes back to the council. The council gives to the troop, and then the troop, because our troop has gotten together and decides, we get 22%.
Grumpy Stack wants to know what they pay the children in the sweat house.
Children in the sweat house don't make it.
They don't get the popcorn. They get gruel.
They have for
Can't I have one
jam and
kernel?
popcorn to make the popcorn.
We've caught children smuggling out kernels of corn.
Right? How is it? Is it okay?
It's all right. It's caramel corn.
Is it salty?
Yeah, it's salty and sweet.
If this keeps up, we'll have to start selling baby back ribs.
Scout baby back ribs. $65 for a short
Made
stack.
with real Scout.
I'm in all the room. Here we go.
Oh,
My desk.
You're the one who set up my computer at your desk.
I did.
I
Rainey's got
raise them in buckets of fish heads.
Rainey's got her computer on my desk right there. So
Grab some and get
stop
your
being
hand out of
so
the bag.
pushy.
he likes to fondle the kernels. He doesn't actually want to eat any. He
That's
just likes
right.
to go in there and fondle the. Oh, that one feels really big.
You get the
I
caramel
like
corn
that one.
still? We don't have that here. You can.
Mhm.
Fresh open bag.
Well, that's salted. They have regular caramel still. But they've made, this year, they just kind of, I think with everything, maybe it, last year and COVID.
Gosh, Dave, sorry to keep you
Yeah,
up.
sorry, Dave. But they
I
raised
slept in the
turnout
chair
rate.
last night. I was up at 2 and at 4.
Gross.
That was like not last night for me, but the night before. 2:30, I wake up with Ellie, who's not feeling well. And then we finally get back into bed, and Scotty's tinking around in the kitchen. And I'm
already up.
I'm thinking I'm going to wake up to the freaking kitchen just spotless because it's tank, bang, bang, drawers open and closing, cupboards are slamming. I'm hearing the dishes. It goes on for like an hour. I'm like, what the
It just
hell?
sounds like that when it's
I get up,
5 in the
I get
morning.
up, the kitchen's not clean. The dishwasher's empty. I'm like, what the hell? Do you put one fork away and then close the drawer and then walk back to the dishwasher and then grab a plate and put one plate away and open and slam the cupboard and then grab a spoon and then go put the spoon away? Like, is it one at a time? I felt like it lasted.
That's what
forever.
it seems like while you're still asleep and I'm cleaning.
It was 5:30 to 6:30. That was tink, 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 bang, smash. Did you break any dishes while you were at it?
Not yesterday.
I busted a bowl 2 days ago.
I busted my favorite Intrepid mug a couple days ago.
Uh-huh.
I dropped it on a tree stump.
I grabbed a bowl out of the dishwasher and it slipped right out of my fingertips, smacked into another bowl and shattered everywhere. I'm like, what the hell? When I throw Corel because I'm pissed and I want it to shatter,
Yeah.
it doesn't break. But when I drop
And I know.
back in the dishwasher because it was a little too wet, it freaking shatters.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Rainey's like, you know what I think of what you just said? Throws the Corel bowl on the floor and it goes bing, 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 bing. She
I don't
drops
throw
it
the bowls. I don't throw the
accidentally.
bowls because for some reason all the bowls break.
She drops it accidentally, it shatters. And there's like a million shards around the kitchen.
So old Corel has lead and cadmium in it, which you probably shouldn't shatter them, but it's still fun. And I took the kids outside and I'm like,
It's
here.
still fun.
I'm like, here, let's throw these. This will be fun. And it's fun to throw Corel, but it takes like 3, you have to figure out how to whip it just right. What are you going to give us the finger there, Dave?
What are you doing, Dave?
Taking pills.
Oh. Grumpy, when I got here, people shunned me because I was a Yankee carpetbagger. He's one of them damn carpetbaggers. I don't know how they talk in Kansas. Kansas is more the...
You're in Kansas? I thought he was down in Louisiana.
No, Doug Stack's in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Jeremy Hansen's in Kansas. Or is it Missouri? I don't know.
Misery?
Yeah.
It's the angle, says Field Guy, and being wet makes it break. There you go. Fieldy's got it going. There was one time Rainey was really mad about something years ago. I don't think Flynn was even born, or he was just born. And she took a stack of the Corel plates and stood in the kitchen. She stood in the middle of the kitchen and she looked over at me. Smash, smash, smash. And she kept going. I said, all right, something bugging you, hun?
That's not a true story. Such a dork.
40 miles from the Arkansas border. Grumpy is originally from Long Island. Long Island.
New Amsterdam.
I'm originally from Cincinnati. All right. Guess what?
Chicken butt.
That sounds like the end of the
11:03.
show. What?
It's 11:03. Time to let people get on with their Sundays.
Yeah, I got to go make sure the parents are up, get their breakfasts going. And
Oh, there you go. By the way, folks, Rainey just posted in the chat room. Hit that link or copy it and paste it. That's where you can go get popcorn and help our poor children make it to Scouts, because it costs like $1,000 a year for children now in Scouts to go to camp and all that stuff. It's just crazy amounts of money.
You say that though. So the kids
See you, Beth.
just did the Great Smoky Mountain trip, and it was like 10 days.
What?
Flynn didn't go because we went to Alaska instead. But they had figured gas prices were going to be like $6 a gallon, and they planned that into the planning.
Mm-hmm.
And they were going to charge the boys each $250 to do this 10-day trip. They were doing cave heights, the Louisville Slugger tour with the baseball bats. They did a whole bunch of cool stuff. When they got home and they went through all the finances and funding and everything, each boy ended up having to only pay $125 to that 10 days in this Smoky Mountain trip. It's like, holy crap.
Yes, Jeremy, they
Super
still
cheap.
do the Pinewood Derbies.
We do Pinewood Derby, and it's pretty intense. And most of the kids do not do anything.
Intense competition.
Most of the kids don't do anything besides paint the cars, and then the parents are the ones who
Parents are always the ones sawing them down and shaping them and weighing
polish
them.
the
And,
axles, polish the wheels.
Dad, will you print out decals for my car? Sure. So
We've won first place a couple of times, but if we've ever had to battle a Kindy or a Bigley, we've always come in second.
that's right. They've been in Scouts since they were kids.
Their cars go like 216 miles an hour, and I can really only ever get our cars to go about 209.
And that's going down. They just go down a little ramp at the beginning and out to the end. They go 216 miles an hour.
And then because our pack, not the troop, but the pack is really into the Pinewood Derby, we hold the district Pinewood Derby for everybody around the cities too. And then they come out. It's a lot of fun.
It's a renown to be held, I guess.
But
Yeah, but can he do the Kessel run in 12 parsecs?
I usually get 2 trophies every year. One for first and one for second.
There you go. Well, everybody, Ellie, you going to come around and say hi? Come over here.
Hey, do you like doing Pinewood Derby? Why?
Come over here and talk.
Little Ellie Belly.
Look in the camera. Come in between mom and dad, where you always seem to be.
What place did you get in Pinewood Derby last year?
First.
Did we do districts last year?
Mm,
Did we do
Oh,
it?
I'm gonna brush that hair out.
no.
Yeah, needs it again.
Did it?
I told her, I said, I'll come home with conditioner and wash her hair and get all those tangles out.
No.
He's good at it.
No.
Nope. I was told, nope, only grandma or mom can do that.
And Jamie.
And Jamie.
And the Korean chick at the salon.
She was not Korean.
What was she?
She was a white chick. She's a white farm girl.
I thought she was like Vietnamese or something.
That does nails?
The
You
Korean
said
lady.
we couldn't eat popcorn.
This one said I could eat it. I thought, okay, my joints already hurt.
Try some. It's caramel corn. No, I sell it. I never eat the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. They told us what goes into that. We don't eat that.
Jeremy, you have a wonderful Sunday too. All right, everybody, we're going to get out of here. It's that time.
Well, give that little one a hug for me and the other little one and the
will.
stoic one.
My chair just rolls away. Don't pull it.
All right, everyone. Have a good day. We will
You
see
have a fun
you
day.
Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time for the Intrepid Radio program.
I will try and get out Monday after I finish up stuff and deliver paint, and maybe we can get the
Fantastic.
blade on the
We'll see what
wall.
we can do. Get some paint going here.
There's no
Yep.
school on Monday. So.
No school
Oh,
on
cool.
Monday.
So we can put the kids to work.
Yep.
That's it.
And I
We'll direct.
I bought a whole bunch of rollers, paint rollers.
Oh, super.
Yeah, they were 50 cents at the barn.
At the barn.
The barn.
I have
Dave.
some sticks.
I've got some homework for you or anybody listening. If you can find some of that sheeting that looks like or is, the old tin ceilings they had in bars and stuff like that in the
Yeah,
old in the 1800s.
But you want the Mylar stuff.
Yeah, the stuff that's
Menards.
inexpensive but looks the part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
you
would
could
be cheaper if
staple
we
that up.
bought it online. Menards has it, but it's not cheap. I used it for the
That's the
motorhome.
problem.
I used it for the motorhome, but yeah, we could get some of that stuff.
Because Rainey would like that rather than just painting the rafters, put that up in what's going to be our master bedroom here.
Let's look online because you can get some stuff pretty cheap online.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to look around, see what we can find. I know the girls bought some stuff, but I think they spared no expense when they did their studios. But all right, that's all. That's just a little homework for you. All right, Dave, good to have you here. Everybody else, thank you for being here. We will see you next Sunday, unless you come by during the week.
Love you, Ellery.
Say goodbye, Rainey.
Bye.
I love me my Thai Coog.
No,
My Thai
no.
my Thai
My Tai Chug.
my Thai Chug. My Thai Chug. Lakota for my woman.
If it would
All right.
have been his first wife, you'd remember.
What?
I said if you were saying that word to your first wife, you'd remember.
No, that was like 40 years ago. I'd have forgotten that totally.
Uh-huh.
No, if I'd had 40 years to rehearse it, maybe.
Yeah.
I just learned it this morning.
Uh-huh.
What's with chicks, man? Can't live with them,
We're
can't live
feisty.
without them.
You should have married a man.
Dad's gay.
Oh, Nelly, that's not funny.
Dad's gay.
That's not funny.
That's not funny. Please stop.
No. My wife loves me.
Yes, very much.
No, she
Very
doesn't.
much so.
He's
All
not
right,
good.
guys.
He's bye.
We're out of here. We'll
All
see
right.
you later.
Bye.
Bye.